G'day folks, it's Phil from 15 Minute Guitar Practice here. Today I'm going to show you in the simplest way I can how to solo. Now I know you're like, oh dude, like I'm way past that. Well, let me explain. This will be great for you if you're an absolute beginner to soloing, but I think this is actually step one of you as a more advanced player who's been soloing for ages, starting to unlearn some habits that you have. Chances are, if you were like I was, you have learned soloing through basically learning scales, pentatonic shapes, and applying those in your soloing, and that's been your crutch. Now that gives you a few good years of soloing in a wonderful way and having great fun because pentatonic shapes work over everything. But I think you know by now that your playing could be more sophisticated. So this is for you. If you've reached that point where you just feel you're no longer progressing, this is the first step. So I'm hoping I can help you out. So let's get into it. So what are the steps to doing this? This is a simple exercise. I've got kids of 7 doing it and they're having great fun. Step 1 is to change your mindset. Just for this example, just for today, let's not think about scale shapes. Let's not think about soloing as anything to do with scales. Let's forget all our pentatonic shapes and let's just take it way back to basics. What we're going to do is use 2 simple shapes. And those simple shapes are going to be focused on one string set. And that's the string set which includes the D, the G, and the B string. So the 2 shapes we're going to use are derived from our root 6 major bar chord and our root 6 minor bar chord. These would have been shapes you have long known. So if we take a look, if we basically get rid of the other notes in the shape and just focus on those notes that are left on the D, the G, and the B string, these are the 2 shapes we're going to use. And because today we're just using these 2 shapes and I'm going to try and keep it super simple, be prepared to move up and down the fretboard a bit more than you would normally. So the progression I'm going to use today is A minor to D to G to C. So what are the steps? Step 1 is to split your world in 2. Split your world of soloing note choice into notes that are in the shape and everything else. That's it. Step 2 is to match the shape to the chord type. So in our progression, we've got A minor, which is minor, followed by D, G, and C, which are all major. So for the first chord, we're going to use the minor shape. And for the rest of the chords, we're going to use the major shape. Simple, right? Cool. What we're going to do is simply set a metronome to something very manageable, like 80 BPM. And we are going to play the first note, the lowest note in that shape on beat 1. And that will sound like this. The next step is to play the notes in the shape completely. And we're going to do low, mid, high, mid. And that's going to sound like this. Once you've done low, mid, high, mid, then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do high, mid, low, mid. And that's going to sound like this. And finally, we're going to do mid, high, low, mid. And that sounds like this. Once you've got these down, one exercise you can do is to try and move between them and do a different one for each chord. What we're going to do next is add in the next category, which is all the other notes. Start on those root notes and then play chromatically up from there. So we're going to say start on fret 7 and we're going to go 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually move to the next string and go 6, 7, 8, 9. So when we change strings, we basically move down one fret and we'll have a chromatic sequence that sounds like this. So as you can see, this is going to encourage you to use notes you probably never used before because you've just been too scared that they're going to be wrong. But what we're going to do when we introduce these other notes is simply put them on the and after whatever beat it is. So right now we've got our notes of our shape played on beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you're going to introduce some of these other notes that are not in the shape, we're going to introduce them potentially on the and after 1, the and after 2, the and after 3, or the and after 4. Let's take a look at that. When you do this and all of these exercises, you must absolutely try to hit a note in the shape exactly on the first beat of the new bar. Once you've spent some time with these less familiar notes and playing them in this very specific way, then try to loosen up a little bit and play fewer notes. Try and get things to flow from one position into another and just try and craft a nice melodic line. Don't worry too much at this stage about bends or slides or double stops or any of that. Like I said, these are the very first steps, so let's not try to do too much too soon. And it might sound something like this. So this is kind of stage one, where we start to play with focusing on what's happening in the chord and also freeing ourselves from thinking about shape-based playing and just splitting our world into those two simple categories. I hope this has helped. Have a play with it. If you come across any sticking points or you have any questions, please leave a comment below. We will take a look at other shapes and more complex progressions the next time we speak. This is Phil from 15 Minute Guitar Practice saying bye for now. Cheers.